Well, today is the opening of the UTAH Archery hunt for deer and elk. And I've been sitting here in my tree stand for the last several hours. And all I've seen so far are squirrels. Hairy Lake Springs is just back this way, and Bryce is sitting over there at the spring. I'm just watching this hillside. Usually the elk come down this way and then they walk over to where Bryce is at. We'll give it a little bit longer and then we'll start walking around, seeing if we can't find some evidence or sign. Well, Bryce and I finally met up. We got ambushed by a couple cowboys. Yeah. They're up here trying to find some lost cattle, and
they definitely weren't at the water hole I was at. There was nothing there except for a hunter that wandered through earlier this morning.
He didn't even see Bryce, so
I guess my spot's pretty good, because he was maybe 7 yards from me and never noticed me. So
yeah, we got skunked this morning, but the two cowhands that came through, they didn't even see us, and we had to almost jump out and slap the horse on the nose to let him know we were there. And then they felt bad. They apologized and didn't mean to walk in on us, but we heard them a half a mile away coming. They weren't very quiet, but they told us they haven't seen any elk here. Have seen some deer, which is consistent with what we've seen as far as tracks. So we're gonna go back, get some lunch, come back later on this afternoon and roll our dice, and maybe Bryce's deer will come in. Hopefully. And then on Sunday we'll head on out of here. Monday we're gonna go out west. We got tips on a decent herd of elk out there and go see if we can produce. Every year on the opening day of the elk and deer archery hunt, it rains. Luckily, it decided to rain when we came back for lunch. The question is, will it stop so we can go out tonight? So we went back to camp, had our lunch, and then it started to rain. And it downpoured like 7 or 8 different times. As it was sitting there raining, I started to chuckle because the last 3 years that we've been up here, it has rained every opening day. So why start something different? But we're back up here in our tree stands now, and Bryce is hitting the cow call really heavy. So hopefully that brings something in, or it'll scare everything away. I'm not sure. But hopefully it calls something in. Keep our fingers crossed. It is now Monday, and Bryce and I are back at it. And you're probably looking at this behind saying, where the poo are you? This is not Cache National Forest, I'll tell you that. We are out in the West Desert of Utah in Box Elder County. I have a deer tag for out here, and our elk tags are good for out here as well. It is very windy, so hopefully our arrows will go straight if we see something worth shooting. But anyways, we're gonna go scout. We're gonna come back out this way, do some scouting out there. But we want to get camp set up before we do a whole lot. So we're gonna hop on the four-wheelers and go check out, see where we want to set up. You have any thoughts, Bryce?
Hopefully we don't get blown away. We're definitely, a lot closer to Kansas than we are to Cache National Forest. It was windy.
Yep, that's true. Bryce is gonna click his heels and get us out of here. Well, we got camp set up, and just inside here is where we'll be sleeping tonight. Got my bed spread here. Bruce has his here, or Bryce has his here. Bruce, where'd that come from? Bruce isn't even in Utah right now. But Bryce is here, and I think we're gonna sleep pretty good. The wind blowing and rocking the trailer all night might.
It'll just rock us to sleep.
Yeah. So we kind of ended quickly Saturday night. Didn't really have a chance to talk, but Bryce and I we were back up in our watering holes, and while we were sitting there, a couple hunters came in and decided to stink up the place with human scent. Didn't even know we were there till we started cow calling at them, and they realized they were surrounded by cows, and then realized it was just us. So, but today we're out here in this country, which was recommended by a good friend. Said there's a lot of elk out here.
I hope he's right.
Well, I hope he's right too. Otherwise, we might come and lynch you. You know who you are. But we're gonna finish getting camp set up, make us a sandwich or something, and go set up here and do some spotting and take the bows with us, because you just never know when a big 18-point buck comes walking in on you. So, anything else?
Yeah, hopefully a big 18-point buck doesn't walk in on me. I'm on the wrong side of the I-15 for that.
Yeah, Bryce has to be east of I-15, and I have to be west of I-15. So if it comes in, I will give Bryce my blessing to shoot my deer for me. Just kidding. I can't do that, but I hope he at least ties it down, or just maims his leg or something, so I can get over there and shoot it. So I do give you permission to do that. Okay. Take out a kneecap.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Day area. Just hard to imagine where they're at. Where do you hide in a place like this? They're here somewhere. Just gotta find them. Just ran into my first rattler. started rattling at me. But I just about stepped on him and he didn't rattle or anything. So I tossed a rock at him as a warning to start rattling to remind us that they're around here. But if he bites me, he's a dead snake. By the way, I hate snakes. You know what the problem with finding a rattlesnake? Now I'm spending more time looking for snakes than I am for deer or elk. The deer and elk aren't going to bite me. But these snakes sure will. Hot liquor didn't even rattle at me until I threw a rock at him. Then he let me know he's there. Alright guys, so things are getting really crazy. I don't know if you can see it, but way out there in the sunlight there's a big dust storm coming at us. That ain't a dust storm. There's about 60 head of elk, 3 or 4 bulls in there, and they're running right towards us. They're still about 4 or 5 miles out there, but they're coming this way. These cedars are where they come and stay when they're nervous.
They're moving.
And they are moving. So I know it's so far out there, but I can see them with my naked eyes running at us. So I'm gonna get my bow ready in case they make it all the way up here.
Definitely getting an in reach, you know. Just for that. Just for that.
They're still moving to the left there.
Well, we are back in the trailer, just making some dinner, frying up some hot dogs tonight. We were going to do this outside, but the mosquitoes are so freaking hideous.
Crazy, thick.
Thick. We saw one of them carry off a small rabbit on our way back, so we figured, yeah, it ain't worth it. But so last time we talked, I told you that herd of 60 to 70 elk were running right towards us at full speed, and it was insane. I've never seen elk do that before. Apparently they do, but they were running so fast towards us that there was a dust cloud behind them. Like, it looked like a dust tornado out there in the desert. And they made it probably, well, maybe a half a mile from where they took off to where they stopped, and then they started going west a little bit. So
ended up probably a mile and a half to 2 miles from where they originally started.
yeah, still about 4 miles from where we're at. There's a pivot sprinkler pipe out there, so they're probably going over there to get some water for the night, and then hopefully they come up to the cedars where we are, and hopefully we can lung a couple of them out with arrows and throw their meat in this trailer and head on out, because I don't know if I want to do these mosquitoes every night.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
So, any thoughts about today's hunt, Bryce?
Just, it's exciting to see the elk. It's good to be able to see them. Just got to figure out how to get them off the private property and onto the BLM land where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big piece of BLM that we're hunting. And that's Bureau of Land Management, in case you're wondering, not Black Lives Matters, although that's a whole different story, and we're good with theirs and his and hers and everyone else's. But anyways, Bureau of Land Management, which we can hunt. So we still trying to swat mosquitoes that followed us in the trailer. And that's why we're cooking in here. So if we both die of carbon monoxide poisoning, that means this video will not get done. So if you don't see the end of the video, please send help. We're out here on this BLM land and waiting for someone to come recover our carcasses.
That's about it. I opened the vent, so we at least have some air going out.
Yep.
So.
Alright guys, we'll see you in the morning. Bright and early. About 5 o'clock we're getting up. 5:30 we'll be up on the hill. Well, it is Tuesday morning and we've been sitting here glassing. There's some elk out that way. There's about 65 head of elk, and we think 20 of them are bucks, or not bucks, bulls. Bucks, don't know where that came from. Bulls, anywhere from spikes to 6 points. There's also another herd out this way of about 40 and 2 nice bulls in it. However, they're not coming this way and they're on private land. As we're sitting here, also I hear this cracking of thunder and everything behind. And we got a rainstorm coming in. We are going to get hit pretty hard here in a minute. Bryce is just trying to get some video of the elk that are out there. See if we can get some off the binocular, since they're probably about 3 miles out there still. They've gotten a little bit closer since last night, but still not close enough. But yeah, the rain is coming. I think we're going to get soaked. So you'll see the front of that storm is coming. We might be hightailing it back for the trailer. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the rain is coming. I think we're going to get soaked. Well, we didn't make it back to camp in time before we got drenched. So we got our clothes hanging up here drying out. I switched clothes just to wear something dry while the camouflage and all our equipment and stuff's drying out. And it came down really, really hard. It was coming down so hard I felt like I was in a swimming pool fighting to breathe from the water in my mouth. It was that thick for a minute. But while we were sitting here doing that, Bryce says it's time to eat, so he's making up some hot dogs and gonna get dried out and get back at it. All right, so we are sitting here glassing. We're on the corner of the BLM property looking onto private at the elk. We found the big herd, which has about 60, 65. It's hard to count them because they have some calves in there. And they're always running around moving. So it's kind of hard to keep them still long enough that you can count them. But you get to 50 and you know you still haven't counted all, and roughly 15 more, give or take. So we're going to go with 65 on this herd. Anyways, we're sitting here glassing them, and there's a bull on the north side that keeps looking north. So we looked north and found 3 more bulls that are about half a mile from them. who are watching them, and they're just sitting on the edge of the road looking south at the bulls, or the whole herd. So we're wondering if this bull that's looking north at them is watching them to see if they make a move towards the herd, and if they do, if he'll push them. Well, if he pushes them away from them, he's going to push them south, which happens to take them right to where we're at. So we're trying to send subliminal messages to these 3 bulls to tell them to get their game on. If they push the herd to us, we'll let these 3 live. We'll take out the 2 that we want out of the herd, and now the herd is belonging to these 3 bulls. That's our plan.
Jedi mind trick.
Yeah. Let me show you what we're looking at. So the elk, the herd is out this way, and no, you can't see them, but they're way out there. And here's this road, and the 3 elk are sitting out there on the edge of the road. So we can't go into this, it's private. So this is as far as we can go. We're just gonna keep watching and see what happens. Plus we're also waiting out this storm, hoping that it gets over with soon so we can go back and sit on our hill. It's finally afternoon and dry and sunny. So we decided to make a push through these junipers. Bryce is below me and I'm up above. So let's see what we can find. I'm gonna be quiet from here on out. That way I'm not disturbing anything. There's a lot of sign of both elk and deer poop in here. So that is a perfect coyote den. My wife was asking if they really dig and live in the ground. Yep. Right there underneath the cedar tree. That's where a coyote would live. Well, good morning, everyone. Today is day 3 up here, and so far, as you can tell by the weather, it's our nicest day up here. Which is typical. Give us all the snow, hail, thunder, lightning, tornadoes, tsunamis. What else have we had? That rainstorm yesterday was a tsunami. It was terrible. But we do have a nice day. We found the elk about where they were last seen last night, maybe a half a mile further south than where they were, but they're still 3.5 miles away. So we're just sitting here glassing and gonna watch them for a while. There's some hunters that came in through the cedars behind me earlier and pushed them. So there's really no point in trying to go through there again. They just barely left, and nothing's going to move back in that quick unless they just circled around. But if they're going to circle around them, they're going to circle around us. But we didn't see much track in there. We just don't think the elk have been up to this point yet. Not in the last couple weeks anyways. There's a sign of elk in there. Just nothing fresh, yeah. But we do know where they are. And so we're going to probably be sitting a lot today just glassing to see if they come any closer. Today's our last day here. Then Bryce has to get back to work, and I've got a couple honeydews that I need to take care of so I can continue hunting. So it'll be a quiet, uneventful day unless something happens like 2 nights ago and those elk take off on a mad run this way and kick up dust. And if so, I'll be sure to turn you back on so you can watch it with us.
Alright, so we ended up watching those elk take off and leave, go a little bit further away from us onto the private land, so we decided to regroup and try something a little bit different. So we're here in the Ogden area, some of my family's property. We're here, we know we've had elk on it before, we've gone turkey hunting here, and so we're hoping that we can come across some of those elk and hopefully let the air out of them.
Yep, the deer are safe tonight. If we see a deer, we can't shoot them because neither of us have a tag for this area. At least until the extended hunt, and then we can drop them. But
Yep.
for now, we can't.
Alright, so here we go, hiking again.
Well, I'm working my butt off to get up to the top of this hill I'm going up, and it's just almost straight up. You can see how steep it is, but it's not wasted. I was following Bryce up, and I don't know how he missed it, but look what I found. Found a little 2-point shed. All right, things are looking up. Bryce is way up there on the tillings of that mine, but I'm gonna pick this up and continue on.
Alright guys, so Brandon and I were just sitting up on the hill, and I did a couple cow calls, so we had some go back. So here he is.
Well, I'm afraid the night is coming to an end. It looks much brighter on the TV than what it really is. I think we're right at legal shooting light, and unless something steps out right away, I think we're done for the day. If you've stayed with us this far, I really appreciate it. Bryce and I both do. It's been 4 days of a lot of patience and scouting and patience and waiting, trying to not get discouraged, but that's why we call it hunting and not killing. We're hunting for the elk and deer. You can see the rain clouds coming in. I've been sitting here watching it lightning, and I just heard some thunder. So we still got a long hike to get off of here. We're about a mile away from the trucks, and they're clear down in the bottom of the draw. So we need to get down there. I'm gonna throw Bryce on here quick before we end this. And I guess it's time to start hiking off. We just had a cow call just here a minute ago, and we were trying to locate her, but I believe she's down there somewhere. And it's just getting too dark to shoot. These iPhones that I'm recording this on right now, because my GoPro's behind me where my bag is, do a great job lighting everything up. It looks like it's 6:37 in the evening, but it's not. Let's go find Bryce and talk with him. Well, Bryce, do you have anything to say at the end of this video?
Just, we finally got a little bit of excitement there. Had a cow mew back at us. Don't know where she went, but then the beef cows started rolling in up around us, so I'm not sure what happened with her. So
She put a sneak on us.
she did. But at least she talked to us for a minute. That's better than any girl in high school ever did to me.
Yeah, we're gonna get our stuff on us. It's dark enough that I think we're past legal shooting light at this point. But we're gonna hike on out, get this video on for you to watch, and hopefully in our next video you'll see us take down not one but 2 elk, or an elk and a deer, or 2 deer, or 2 elk and 2 deer. I'm not picky. Alright, guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe. If you're liking the things that you're watching, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, we'll comment back, and we'll see you on the next one.